Hello and welcome to the Big Brain Podcast, episode 3. Number 3, guys. Amazing, isn't it? I am Ronov, and I'm joined by Rendell and Sneaky Thief. We all play Rainbow Six Siege, and we all make videos for Rainbow Six Siege, as well as other things as well.
Yeah, my name is Sneaky Thief. I also do, like he said, Rainbow Six content as well as other content like mouse reviews and dipping into a bit of Valorant as well at the moment. But to my right, we also have Rendell. Introduce yourself, my friend.
Hello, I'm Rendell, and I am married to Ronov.
Yeah, I'm just a side check in all this.
We are this close.
I don't like it.
Oh, 100%.
I don't like it how close you are. It makes me feel a little like left out. I feel like I should be involved in this three-way street, but
you are third wheeling.
Our relationship's gone that far that we even held hands. Okay,
wow.
I'm going to say it. I've exposed. We've held hands.
You know,
I'm hoping for a kiss next.
Oh, that's so cute.
Only on the cheek though, because I'm not ready for the lip stuff yet.
I'll tell you what I am not ready for.
You're teasing me.
I'll tell you what I'm not ready for. To talk about how we all came together in the first place, okay? This is another segue. It's usually the thing that I have to do. The segue comes in. Starting off the podcast straight, we want to talk about, we talked a lot about how we feel about the game, especially over the last season and blah, 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 blah. But I feel it's about time that we actually talked about how we got into the game in the first place. And more importantly, how all three of us even know each other in the first place, I don't know why I know him. I don't know why I know this guy over here. I'm supposed to be looking at you, Rendell.
To me, you're looking like you're just off screen.
Yeah, well, I'm editing it to be like, great, whatever. Okay. So,
work your magic.
Let's start with that. How did we all come about playing Siege in the first place?
Well. The year was 2014. It was a cold and dreary night.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't really remember it. I just remember Ubisoft releasing this FPS game, and they had an alpha for the game as well. I can't remember if I played the alpha, but what I do remember is playing the beta. Did any of you play alpha or beta?
Yes,
I played the beta.
Yeah. I've actually kept the email where they've accepted me into the beta because it's just, I don't know, nostalgia and that. But I remember playing it and I thought, wow, this is actually dreadful. I hate this game. It was just so slow and boring. And yeah, my little 13-year-old or 14-year-old mind just couldn't comprehend such a game. I wanted to play Minecraft. But yeah, when it came out, all my mates got it. This is like Xbox days. And yeah, they were raving on about it. It's like amazing, like best FPS game. So eventually, I think it was like season 1 or 2 of year 1. And I went to CEX, if you don't know what that is.
Oh, CEX.
It's a little like secondhand shop where you can get gadgets and games for cheap. So yeah, picked it up, started playing it, and yeah, I loved it. I was terrible, but I loved it.
Oh, that's such a good start. I remember my first time starting it. I remember I used to watch E3 back in the day. This was before, like E3, for people that don't know, was like this big expo for like the big games that were coming out in like the next year or within the next year. It's dead now. It's gone. It's a sad thing.
Sad.
It's so sad. It was one of the things I loved growing up. And Ubisoft literally had their own panel. And I used to play a lot of the Rainbow Six games back in the day. So Vegas, Rainbow Six, Lockdown, and I think I have actually played Rainbow Six 3 before Siege came out. I can't remember. But I was a bit taken back because I was just got into PC gaming, and then they released the trailer, and I'm going, oh, this just looks like a more modern Counter-Strike to me. With just you going in the building, all tactical, police uniform, terrorist uniform. It's giving me Counter-Strike vibes. And then I got access to the beta because I really wanted to just try it out. It looked interesting to me. And I remember playing it and going, oh my God, there is potential with this game, but it's fucking awful. Absolutely a clusterfuck. And this was where we had Hereford Base, I think, was like the only map in the beta. And the icons were so weird. I didn't know whose icon was what. The abilities were still like a bit weird to get used to. And I was like, okay, cool. This is a cool game, but I don't have money, so I'll figure out a way to get the game eventually. So then I don't get the game until season 3 of the first year. I was planning to get it on the year it was coming out, but I prioritized Metal Gear Solid, Armor, those games. So then when I finally got into the game, I bought it for my birthday. I think it was my 18th birthday, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. But then I had no one to play with for a bit, so I kept playing the game here and there for the next 4 years on PC. But yeah, that's kind of how I started. It was just more of a casual experience for me.
Yeah, the same with me, sort of casual sort of thing.
I enjoy it though. It's just fun. I just looked at the game for fun. But what about you, Rendell? How did you start?
God, I have to go back and start reminiscing on that.
I see like a pain in your eyes. It's like a pain in your eyes. It's like looking back at it.
So by the time it came out, I was still in school. So me and two of my friends, we used to play CS a lot. So I had a piece of it. So we used to play a lot of CS. It was actually one of my friends who had found out that this was coming out, told everybody about the update in the beta and stuff. So we all logged on to the beta and started playing it. We probably enjoyed it more than most other people because it was a game to us similar to CS. 5v5, guns, shoot, fantastic.
Yeah.
So so we started playing the bit. We enjoyed ourselves. I wouldn't say that it was completely unplayable, but there were some things that are quite jaggy still.
Yeah.
So once that came about, the actual game came out, and then obviously me being young, I had no money until Christmas. So obviously Christmas came around, begged my parents. They were like, all right, and then I bought the game. And then that was kind of really stemmed from there. Started on PC for the first year and a bit, maybe like 2 years. Once year 2, season 2 came around, that was when I had to switch to PlayStation because my PC just died, and obviously didn't have the money to get a new one. The updates completely killed it off. And then I went to PlayStation, and that's been it. Fast forward 10 years later.
Back to PC.
Here he is now, right here.
Here I am now, still playing this dog shit game.
I mean, it's weird to me. Like a lot of people that we don't realize until like more recently how important console Siege is. Like a lot of people stemmed from Siege through console, and now started to transition to some people playing on PC with controller as well. And it's just it's to me, I feel like it's like a small little game for like the most of the time until about year 8, year 9 when Jinxie blew up. I was like, so this is how popular it is on console and how many people really enjoy and are passionate for this game. But what I don't get is like, what made you switch, Ben, from console to PC?
It's a while ago now because I was playing it from like 2015 to 2018. I think that's when I switched. I'm just trying to think why. I actually can't really remember. I think I was just doing like a general sort of switch to PC. I think there's just certain games on PC that I wanted to try, but obviously not out on Xbox, and I wanted to do mods for like certain games as well. So I just wanted to just switch. Anyway. I thought I'd pick up Siege as well because there was always a sale for it. Siege. It was like 5-10 quid. Oh, and you remember they had that starter bundle?
Fucking hell.
So you'd buy the base game, but you didn't have any operators.
Oh my god, and it gave you all the year 1 operators.
That was one of the...
You didn't even get the year 1, I don't think.
This was one of the...
had to grind.
Dumbest things I've ever seen. Like, the grind was even worse than the...
Oh my god, Bruce, do you remember having to pay for attachments with
That's
Renown?
what I was about to say.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
An ACOG was like 1,000 and you were like
What?
grinding casual. Yeah. An ACOG was like a grand.
I remember this as well. I didn't remember it was 1,000. I knew it was expensive. I remember, like, I got very meticulous with how I bought my attachments. I barely got any suppressors because I was thinking this was fucking useless once I tried it out. So my main thing was getting Holo, ACOG, and Flash Hider with Vert Grip. That was it for every single person. What? I don't know why they did that though. You had to pay for it.
It was just a completely different game, I think. Like,
yeah,
it felt like there was a sense of progression in doing that, but it was so annoying.
It was meaningless progression, in my opinion, because it's such an important, like, it modifies the gun in a impactful way that you should not have done it. I wouldn't mind, like, cosmetic progression, but not that, bruv. No.
They were definitely, it was more of that game where it's like trial and error. Like, Siege was just trial and error. Like, I don't know, I like that feeling. Like, it's annoying, like, having to buy all these different attachments, but can you just imagine it? Like, people doing guides on, like, what attachments you need, so you're careful how you spend your renown. I don't know. God. It's just a nice vibe to it, but I wouldn't have it now.
No.
I would not have it now.
Like, a lot of things were just mad. I remember when the SMG-11 had an ACOG, and I never understood how good the SMG was until it was nerfed. And then I realized I should have got on the fucking hype train when they got the recoil. I hated the recoil back in the day because it was just visual recoil. It's not like the recoil we had now where it actually follows, like the holo sights follow where the bullet goes. It would just bounce around. Like, say, for example, you remember
that though?
I don't, because I find I can't aim properly. So, like, Ben, we played the finals, like, when it came out a year ago, yeah? And you know how, like, the gun bounces around, but the bullets, it doesn't really move the camera. It's just the model bouncing around.
Yeah.
That was Siege back in the day.
Yeah, I can't even remember that.
Yeah,
my memories just go in.
I remember that because I had a video where I was just watching myself play the game and I was just like, nah, I couldn't deal with that. I hate that so much.
We should do. This is just I've gone completely off topic. We should do like one of those React videos, like me and Sneaky have done before.
Oh,
we should do that on the pod.
Yes.
Not very audio friendly, but it'd still be cool. Do a little special episode, maybe.
Definitely. I would definitely be down for that.
Anyway, just throwing that out there. Back to the topic. Old Siege.
Oh god, I there's things I miss of Old Siege, but the majority. This is where I'm going to be quite honest with Old Siege. It is, in my eyes, inferior to the game that we have now. Because I think there's aspects of Siege I liked back in the old day. How it was way more fast paced. Leaning was a lot more faster. It was just an overall faster game. But now the pace I think is nice and it should be slow because you got to be very methodical where you go. It's very much more of a tactical game than it is just like straight up Call of Duty style shooter. I actually prefer it this way more, especially with like how things are balanced. Everything's like works really well. No, go on. No, go on. This is where we're here for the pod. Come, talk to me. Why do you disagree?
Because 2018 Siege was peak. Fucking peak. It was the recoil, the movement, the every ACOG possible on every gun. It was just, if I could go back and play that game again for a day, I'd sell everything. I'd generally do it. I would.
Can.
I wish.
But I think it's like is it not hard to do or?
I think
I have no idea.
I think it is possible, but you have to. I don't know how they could do it. I think it is possible though.
I know you need a VPN to join people though.
Yeah, there's like these dedicated servers for doing these old sort of Siege versions.
Yeah,
I've never looked into it.
They have got like old code, not old code, old executables of the Siege versions. Like that's where you get people getting like, able to go back even to alpha and play through them again. So it is possible. It's just I don't know who the people you need to speak to do that.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think Old Siege now would have be able to keep up with people. I think it would if they had kept it the same, it would have went downhill. So changes obviously need to be made. But at the same time, if I could go back and just play like a full season of ranked like that, the old rank system, the old rank icons, I'd be happily to do it.
Well, yeah, it's like that sort of time. I don't know about you guys, but that sort of time is what has got me into the game. Yeah. So like from 2015, I remember it was like sort of on off, playing Siege in phases.
Mm.
When it hit 2018, switched to PC, it became like my everyday game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it felt fun. As Rendell said, it was more casual, like even ranked.
Yeah.
Just felt fun. And you'd have all like sort of different mates just join you because, yeah, it was just friendly. It was good.
Yeah, I will miss that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where it sort of encaptured us.
I think
and
year
it's
3
got us in this prison.
Yeah, year 3 was just a special season overall. I feel like everything just set itself up so nicely. It started off with one of the greatest matches you could watch with EG versus Penta, who became G2. Iconic match. If people don't watch esports, I highly recommend there's 2 matches you watch, which was that match alone because the comeback was incredible to just watch, and it was a tense match through and through. And the Brazilian Brazilian Invitational final. Arguably, I stayed up all night watching that. But for me, that's what got me inspired to play more Siege, was just watching that at the highest level, and then seeing Ubisoft really double down on their efforts, because they brought the game back. Basically, this was a game that reviewers were basically saying, "Nah, this game's done." They would be surprised if this game lasted a year, let alone 2.
It was back then as well. Ubi claimed this game would last for 10 years.
And here we are, like 10 years later.
And I remember back then, 2018, I was like, nah.
Even
no
I thought,
chance.
nah.
Like, the game's fun.
I think everyone thought, nah.
Yeah.
It's an ambitious idea from Ubi, but I'm impressed they pulled it off. I'm very impressed.
Yeah. Just a small little sprinkle of credit to Ubisoft there.
Because at the end of the day, they were one of the only few AAA companies genuinely that would invest in a product at the time. Keywords at the time. And let it just get better. They didn't give up on the project. And it showcased that stuff like this can work if given the labor of love that it deserves. And yeah, people started realizing, oh God, this game's really good. Even though there was issues in the year like Lion, Clash.
Oh my God, Lion.
Nomad. Nomad, when she had her air jab was instant, so when you launched it, it would detonate even in midair. So it didn't need to set and have a timer for it to activate. It would just detonate like that. That was a very wacky year. But
Jaeger was OP. Well, not OP. It was just fucking brilliant.
It
was so good.
He had so much good utility. He was just...
His gun had no recoil. Nope. He was quick as well.
He was a 3-speed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, shit. Yeah, he was a 3. I think a lot of operators on defense were 3-speed. Bandit.
Yep.
Jaeger.
Yep.
Oh my God, do you remember Cav C4?
What?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that, no.
You don't remember that? Yeah, Cav, when Cav first come out, she had a C4.
What?
That's so strange.
I guarantee you,
search it now and you'll see loads of clips and videos of her. And yeah, she had a C4 when she first come out. I think it lasted a season.
Yeah,
and then they got rid of it and changed it.
Hold on, I'm actually going to quickly have a look. Siege. Shit, yeah, it did exist. Oh, fuck. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Just a no. I couldn't do that. There was so much good stuff from year 3. And
I think that's what we're forgetting though. Like, it was peak 2018, but we do forget like the broken
metas, yeah.
Stuff. Clash was constantly disabled.
Oh, do you know the amount of times she got fucking like disabled because of a game-breaking bug?
Yeah.
Shooting through her shield with a gun and the enemy couldn't see it. It was a visual glitch. And
she was constantly disabled, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
oh
God.
Yeah, but it felt like back then as well, everything was popping off with Siege. Like, there was a visible peak, like with the game just being generally fun. And also, meeting Marley was like popping off as well on YouTube. Like, I remember coming across his videos around then.
Yeah, I remember as well.
Yeah, and like you said, the Pro League as well. It was all just going crazy. It was just a good year for Siege.
A very good year. It was also the year I think Macy J popped off and every other content creator started popping off as well.
Yeah, I think, I mean, when Siege gets that peak, it's like a ripple, isn't it? So like, obviously more players are going to be playing and the content creators are going to be doing well as well. yeah, there's definitely a ripple effect for it.
Mm.
But yeah, we do forget broken ops.
Yeah, we do.
But maybe that's what makes it fun.
Actually, I got a question. Would you rather a broken op or an underpowered op?
Broken.
100%. Yeah,
because it's more fun, and then you can shoot it down.
Yeah, it makes it fun when you first play them. Like Lion, when he first came out, I was on attack first, and I was just playing him, and I was like, "Oh, this is absolutely fantastic! This is great." On defense, I felt violated and touched in different ways without consent. So, I mean, you get mixed feelings about broken operators when they first come out.
Well, this isn't on the schedule. We got things to talk about, but I'll happily talk about this quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Broken ops, right? We've had a history of broken sort of metas. So, like, let's say LMG meta. Remember that?
Oh, God, fuck off.
That was so annoying. But I will say, I've had a lot of fun, a lot of good rounds with the LMG because it was just fun.
Yeah.
But I do think with these broken metas that come about, like with Lion, the LMGs, Solus as well.
Yeah.
They are fun to begin with, but then you need to like crack down on, okay, we've released this really good op. People having fun with it. Let's like nerf it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But not so much that it's useless. This is the thing. Useless op is always going to be worse than a broken one.
I agree. That's just what happened with Grim when he started off. He was so shit. I mained him because I thought, fuck it, I can get some use out of this shitty operator. I was so adamant.
I remember, like every time you picked Grim, I thought, yeah, right, he's throwing the round there. Useless op.
Yep. I was always trying my best to make some use, but then they buffed him in the right areas and they got him really, really good. Like he's one of the stronger ops in the game now.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree because with Solus, amazing operator, and I felt like it required, while she was extremely strong, it did require creativity to get the most use out of her. But where she is now, I would say is less than ideal compared to where she could be. If that makes any sense.
Yes. Yeah, Solus is an interesting one. Like, yeah, she was not I wouldn't say she's broken. She was OP. She was very powerful.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun with her. I made, I think, several videos on her as well, just because I was able to get so much content out of her.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. When you have these operators that are good, you can show them off. And yeah, you can get clips of them, and yeah, it's fun. You can't make content with a shit operator, can you?
Can't make content with a recruit rework.
No, I mean, we've spoken about that before. That season, I was fuming.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just nerf all these operators. Let's bring out this useless op, and let's bring out membership. But we're spoken about that.
Moving on to how we all ended up here doing a podcast together in the first place.
Oh, that's a good little segue.
What's happened here then? From console with a PC to podcasters.
Okay. I think I should start by how we and Ben Ronoff here, we knew each other. Me and Ben, sorry. We knew each other for, how long have we known each other now? Nearly 5 years? Properly.
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years. So to give a little context, we actually came from the same school growing up. We just never spoke with one another.
Which is...
So, what's it called?
No, don't say it.
What's it called now?
No, don't literally say the school.
I'm not going to say the school. I'll just go beep whenever it comes up. So it's fine. I won't say it. But we came from the same school. That's the main important thing. And we never spoke with one another. Like, we never interacted. We were never in the same friend group. None of that. We only knew...
I thought it was a weirdo.
I just thought he was just some
jock, just some really cool guy. Yeah,
no, just a prick.
I was.
You weren't a jock. Fuck off.
Average ginger guy, just chilling.
Just an average guy chilling.
Really sexy boy.
All I could just see was a smile going, yeah, yeah. But we came to know each other through a mutual friend, and then I ended up getting invited to his Discord. We met up one time, and then we just kind of just went from there. Really.
Sparks were flying. We kissed.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rendell.
We
kissed.
We were the original.
Oh no, it's fine because this was before my time, so it's okay.
This is why I'm jealous. You know, this is why I'm jealous. deep down.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we started speaking about Siege when we started like properly getting to know one another.
Well, you had Siege in your it was your Discord picture.
Yes, it was.
And I was playing it at the time a fair bit. I was like, oh, a fellow Siege player.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And then he was like, do you want to play Siege? I was like, yeah, okay, sure. We'll play some Siege. And we started playing around, what was it, Burnt Horizon?
Yeah.
It was either that or the season before in year 3. I can't remember exactly.
I remember my PC days were sort of, the start of it was like Wind Bastion, Burnt Horizon, that Phantom one as well.
Phantom Sight, yeah. Oh, yeah, it was Burnt Horizon because we started playing just like a month before the season was about to end. I remember now.
Yeah.
And I remember I was always silver and bronze. He was gold and silver.
Oh, yeah, I think around there, between silver and gold.
Yeah, that's how we casually took the game. And yeah, we started playing the game together. We had a couple other people that we played with, and then we were the ones that were consistently doing it at the time. We didn't really form a group of people. And then there was a time where we watched the major together in Raleigh. I think it was, you pronounce it right? It's the US major.
I think so. Yeah, I remember that.
So,
Riley.
Riley. I don't know. So we watched that, and then we just kind of stemmed from there. And then around the following year, when COVID really got sort of bad, is when we started to form a Siege group, and then we really was playing on a...
Siege kind of peaked, like, to go back on peaking. Like, Siege kind of peaked in 2020, I feel like.
Yeah, before COVID hit, Siege was at the highest it ever was, because everyone was so like excited for the new like year. We heard about the rework to Tachanka. Oh mate, that Tachanka rework, the crowd went nuts, absolutely nuts. But yeah, it was us. For us, it was like that's when we started to really get into the game.
Yeah, and then like fast forward like 5 years playing Siege every day, pretty much.
Yeah.
More recently taking bigger breaks, but yeah, we continued to play Siege, and we've had quite a few people drop off over time. Yeah, our stack has crumbled.
Yeah, it has.
And yeah, usually we meet people, like we have our mate Nuspal, we met in game.
Yes.
We didn't actually meet Rendell in game, did we?
No, yours was a quite unique situation. So Rendell, I'd like you to talk about how you came into the picture.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. I was on console before October 23. Okay. Yeah, because I can't say last year now because it's
coming to last year, yeah.
Yeah. So the whole reason I left console, bad situation. Didn't speak to the old kind of like group anymore. So I wanted it got to a point where I didn't really speak to my old group anymore. We all kind of like fell out on console, and every time I try finding a new group on console, they would want to join and then take the new group from me, and then I'd still be stuck on my own. So the whole switch to PC was basically because I wanted to find a platform where they couldn't reach me, basically. Yeah, so I bought a PC, switched to PC, got everything set up. I solo queued for until I would say March and April.
How was solo queuing?
And then
how did you manage that in that year of Siege?
Honestly, a lot of Class A drugs. So no. Generally, it wasn't that bad. I say it wasn't that bad. It was that bad, but I think if you just push forward and carry on, you can do it.
Persevere.
Oh my god!
Persevere.
Motivation,
more passion, more energy,
more footwork, and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I somehow managed to solo queue, and then that's when I piled up a bunch of clips, and then remembered that I do content. So I was like, oh, it's now going to be way better now because I'm on PC. So I started doing some editing, and I needed thumbnails because mine were shit. So I decided to go into Fiverr and search, and I picked like 3 different people from like the top row, and one of them happened to be Ben over here. I tested all 3 out on algorithm, and his one done the best. So I was like, I'm just gonna stick with him. I think 5 thumbnails later, I was like, bro, can I just get your Discord so I can just message you when I need one instead of going through this, and then I'll just send it to you. Yeah, that's fine. One day in his stream, and then it was just like, oh, do you want to play? And I was like, all right, cool. And then I joined it, and now I haven't left.
Yeah, you've been
stuck around.
It's been nice. It's been nice having you around. You're a laugh to have, but it was like this idea of the podcast now. How we came about it was me and Ben always talked about it here and there. He was the one that really wanted to do the podcast as well. Like, this was something that he had always thought about doing for a while, because we ended up having moments where we just rambled, like we are like now, where we're just rambling away for about an hour to 2 hours. We wouldn't even play games. So say, for example, we had a day in Siege where things were just like, we just ended up just chatting for an hour or two into like 2 o'clock in the morning. We're like, he's like, we should make a podcast out of this. And I'm like, you serious? He goes, yeah, we just need a group. We just need a few more people. We could do it, genuinely. And I was like, okay.
I think there is a lack of podcasts in the world as well.
Especially for Siege.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no podcasts in the world. So I thought, if we do one, we're the only people that have 3 guys doing a podcast, right?
I agreed with that. It was like a good idea. But for me, it was like, when would this happen? And we'd have to organize it. And then more recently, we were just having a ramble again, but this time it was all 3 of us just chatting about Siege, how we were doing. And I think this was just after a day we were just talking about how we were performing, where things could go better, and then just about the state of the game. And then Ben brought it up again, and then he asked, would you all be down for it? And we all agreed, yeah, we would be actually willing to do it. We just need to stick to something. And then one thing led to another. About a few weeks later passed, and here we are. We just started recording. And yeah, we got the first podcast out. Also, thank you so much for watching or listening to our first podcast. Whoever watched it or listened to it, massively appreciate it.
But not the second one.
And also the second one as well.
Yeah, but don't you remember that when Ben was streaming, when we would just start rambling on, he would name his stream as the Ron Pod?
Yes.
So we already had the joke out there that we were gonna do it, and then I think it was just one day where Sheldon kind of took the initiative and was like, "Oh, let's start planning this," and then I instantly gravitated towards my notes app, and then was just like, "All right," and then we spent like 2-3 hours just
proper planning it,
coming up with the name, and the name was the hardest thing to try and find, but
because we were originally gonna go with the Ron Pod for the joke of it, but we decided if we wanted to actually go with something that was a bit more involving of everyone,
it's 3 of us, yeah, it's not just,
and also relating towards what we talk about predominantly, we needed a better name, which is, oh god, do we still have the list of names that we went through?
No, I don't, but I know that what was
Vertical Dive.
Vertical Dive.
Yeah, Vertical Dive, yeah. Thinking about it now, I think we've gone with the better option of names. I mean, we had like a plateau of names where we were just like, all right, let's get rid of this one, get rid of this one, get rid of this one. And then I think Ben actually asked someone, like, what do you think? And then they chose the worst one to be the best one. And they completely threw us off. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then
the second was Big Brain.
The Big Brain. And then we were like, yeah, we're going to stick with that one.
Yeah.
I like the Big Brain. It's a good name, short, easy. And yeah, it's just been a lot of fun doing these podcasts, actually. I actually quite looking forward to doing these every single week.
Oh.
I know.
Aww.
Shut the fuck up.
You like spending time with us, Sheldon.
Shut the fuck up.
Stop third wheeling. Me and Ben have a date later on, all right?
But yeah, it's been something that I'm happy that we got together. We actually got to do. And it gives us a moment to just like talk about Siege just in a very open way, but also about things that are going on just in the gaming space, such as Drip Brulin. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly, but
I think it's
Brolin, whatever the hell his name. Right. So for context for some people,
something else.
He has been banned from Twitch as of recently. And
really?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, I thought he just got kicked off a pro team.
Yeah, I think he got. He got kicked off his pro team. But yeah, he got banned off Twitch as well.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing the tweet, that automated tweet that says like who's been banned off Twitch, and yeah, he was one of them. So
Oh, I didn't know.
Essentially,
yikes.
His story is very unique. And there was a video that was done by a YouTuber named Spawn Peaked. He did an amazing video. I highly suggest after this podcast you go check it out to get like a full idea of what happened and his whole history leading up to Siege. So he started off predominantly, I believe it was with console. He realized he was very good at the game, better than a lot of other people. Transitioned to PC, played in the Pro League. Well, he didn't play Pro League, but he went through the stages to get to Pro League, which was challengers, winning challenges, going to Pro League. But his statistics weren't considered the best. In fact, they were considered one of the worst statistics in the majority of like the pro scene. So even for like a support player, you'd be expecting to get like a 1.0 KD in pro matches consistently. He got 0.93, which was considered in the pro scene the lowest. Which even I have to agree was like not too great. But the main reason was he was in teams that were just basically starting to expose what his true personality was. He even played with Skittles, and you could just tell he was just toxic as fuck. He would just be telling people to, I'm not going to say it here because obviously, for unalive, yes. He would tell them to unalive themselves or just go homophobic, racial. He would go full out.
I'm an avid Twitter user, right? So over the years, I have seen him be a bit weird. I've seen a few weird tweets from him. I remember one of them, some of the controversy he got into was, it was coming up to a major, and he just started shitting on cosplayers for some reason.
Oh.
Like the whole cosplay community just like started a war with him. I have no idea why. And everyone else was like, what are you doing? You weirdo. Like, people enjoy cosplaying. Like,
let them cosplay.
It's just something they enjoy. It's a hobby for them. But yeah, no, he decided to just say fuck you to all of them, and call them weird and whatnot. So
yeah, there was a couple of tweets I did see that it got very political. I won't go too into depth, but obviously with the election that happened in America recently, he was very vocal about that. And some of the things that he said could be interpreted in the very wrong tense. So he really didn't care about how his image was, to the point where he'd just say what he wanted and how he felt. But the funny thing is, like, no one really cares about him that much, that we didn't really know who he truly was until recently.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, even when I'd see a tweet come up, like, I could tell, oh, he's like a content creator or whoever. Like, I don't even know what he did back when I saw the tweets. I just knew he was a person in the scene. But yeah, didn't really care enough to look into it that much. Yeah, he's just a weirdo, turns out. So
yeah, there's just certain people that you just don't want to interact with. You don't want to get involved with, because at the end of the day, like, they're just spreading negativity for the sake of spreading negativity.
It's like the wrong people do get famous. It happens.
I was literally about to say that you have obviously the right content creators like Marley and all the other ones that are, you'd be like, okay, I'm happy that we've given them a following.
Yeah.
And then you just got people like Brolin who you just like, why does he even have one in the first place?
Yeah, that's the thing.
It doesn't make sense to me.
It's Drip Boolin.
I don't even give a fuck at this point anymore.
if he's rocking around telling people to, do the committing, then do you know what I mean? Why has he even got 100 followers or anything like that? It's crazy to me that he, as a pro player, he's that toxic. Now I get that some people are going to get annoyed, and even I've done it where I've typed "Legion, you're fat" or to the other team or something. But I've never gone as far as he's done. I think he's like, from what I've seen, he's been like very phobics.
There's a certain line you'll cross. Yeah.
It's been a frequent thing with him as well. It's not like just a one-off. He's like done an oopsie. He said something wrong,
and he apologizes.
It is just a consistent thing over the past couple of years. Like, I can't remember the last time I saw him being homophobic or hating cosplayers and whatnot. It wasn't this year. That's what I know. It was a couple of years ago. So it's just a thing that's gradually come about with him.
It's just a shame, really. I just don't like it when those kind of people, when you're on that sort of stage, when you have that sort of like presence in any scene, like obviously you're going to have your certain opinions, but there's certain things that you're also representing not only yourself as a brand, but also the product that you're working with. So in his case, it's Siege. So
yeah, but I think people like this, when they get this platform through other means like being good at Siege or making content, they use the platform to just spread like utter shit, like whatever they believe in.
Probably because
you're just ruining it for yourself, really. You're making everything all political for no reason.
Yeah,
like you need to separate that from like making content and your own political views. Try and separate that
as much as you can,
because people are watching you for your content, not your shitty political views.
I agree, because at the end of the day, it doesn't need to be said. People, you said it the best way. People are there to just, life can be not as great sometimes. We know life can be shit. People go to watch your content to sometimes separate from life itself, just to have a bit of a relaxation, or just be able to just consume content to get on with their day. So really, your job is to help provide that to certain people. But if you go out of your way to spread certain things that people are trying to, distance themselves from, not because they don't agree with the decision or because they hate the decision, but because they just want a release, that's where I feel like you need to understand that you need to keep your opinions sometimes out of the picture.
Yeah, and I will also say, just not get it sort of twisted. Like separating yourself from your own personal views, not completely. It is good when you do believe in something. You use your platform, but to make it like a better place, like not spreading like, hate towards certain groups of people. That's just shit.
Yeah, be a platform for positivity. That's what I think I should be getting at here. Be a platform for positivity. Be positive
and happiness.
Don't spread negativity. We already got enough negative things going on. Just be positive. That's all we want.
Yeah, like Sneaky's KD.
It's negative. We're trying to get it positive again.
So, guys, let's talk about how our season has been going.
Okay. Who wants to start with their season? Fine, I'll go first.
There's a tear going down my cheek.
Fine, I'll go first. Shit. I'll say this. It's been fucking shit. I'm joking. It's been, for me, terrible. Absolutely terrible. And it's not because, and I'll make this very clear. It's not because of the cheaters. Actually, surprisingly, in terms of cheaters, it's barely any, which is really good. I think them shutting down Clar.gg, good stuff. But we had this joke as well, and this is why some of my video ideas came through on my, like, when I was doing YouTube. I stopped clutching in the nicest way possible from last season. I have not been able to clutch. I started to clutch again, but this season my KD is absolutely atrocious. It's at 0.82.
I'm gonna be sick.
I usually am at like a 1, maybe a 1.1, but this season has been terrible. I don't know, like,
every stack needs their support player, right?
So my job is a support player.
You didn't even do that.
Hold on. Shut. No, wait, hold on. Let me say this to the camera. My job in the stack is to be a support player. My priority is to empower my fraggers and my team in order to carry out their objective, and that is my priority.
And you done a really good job
Shut
at that.
the fuck up.
It was more like the cheerleader in the back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God. It has been so terrible for
Except the opposite effect.
Give me a B. Give me an E. That's what he was doing in the Discord call, basically. What was going on.
I'd be doing that.
It's given me the opposite effect.
I was like,
I felt unmotivated to play.
I have been doing absolutely, like, I don't know what has gone through me this season. I feel like I'm trying to crack why I've been performing the way I've been performing. But like, one of the things I have noted is just like I started getting like, especially when I was on like my low KD, and more recently one of my games, I went 0-8, and I just lost every ounce of passion to play that day. Like I could tell like that was my last. I kept dying. And the thing was, the more I kept dying, the more stupid I got in terms of my positioning, in terms of like where I needed to play my angles. I just ended up getting so frustrated to the point where I was just like, I never usually do this. I try and leave the Discord call in like a positive vibe. That was one of the very few days where I was just like, I'm done. Bye. Left. I just was just so defeated.
Yeah, there's been a lot of moments like that this season. I think you are a prime example of trying to not tilt is like key to playing Siege. Like you are going to have moments where you are really good. You're getting good clips, good shots, and just generally playing well, like positioning and whatnot. You just in flow state.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get back. Yeah.
Yeah, but then that just goes. Like one day you play Siege and just like you're dying every round.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what's just happened? I was doing sick yesterday. Why am I shit now? And yeah, I mean it does just happen where you do have a few bad games, but then that sort of what's the word? Like a domino effect, a snowball. You start going down this motion of like, oh yeah, I'm really bad. I'm so bad.
Yeah.
And it gets to you mentally. So that's where like trying not to tilt is so important.
And typically I'm actually quite good at this, but lately it's been very hard because one thing that helps me get through it is that I know it's not on a consistent basis. And the challenge this season was it's been consistently, I've been underperforming compared to where I should be doing for the team, because it's not that I'm supposed to be the best in the team. I just want to be good enough to make sure that when I get a kill, it matters. If I need to stay alive, it matters. It's just doing things that have impact. And I feel like that's where I fail a lot at the moment, which is just something I'm trying to get over and get better at, really. So, yeah. But I think also as well, we're just going against people that are genuinely like, I don't get the matchmaking system anymore with the rank system, why we're having to do all this shit, because I feel like, yeah, it can get demotivating at times, but I'm pushing through.
Through. This is where the season, like where I feel with the season, it's we always play at the start of the season, which is fine.
Yeah,
but it does make it so much more harder. It feels like, and we do this every time. But yeah, I mean, we're like what, a month in? I don't even know.
Yeah, about a month in now.
What day it is? Yeah, and no, my mind's gone blank.
Oh dear. He's lost it now. He's lost it.
Yeah, I made a video on this where it feels like, yeah, there's no cheat. I mean, there is cheaters.
Yeah.
But we're barely facing cheaters now. But it feels like everyone is just unemployed because, I mean, we're looking at the stats.
Yeah.
With R6 Tracker, not sponsored video. And you can see these guys have played like 400 games. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing with your life right now? Like, we've only got 50 games in.
And keep in mind,
you've got 400.
This isn't like 2 months in. This is like a few weeks in.
We play it like near enough every day for like a good few hours, and we're only on like 50 games. So how these people have got 400 games literally baffles me.
Unemployed.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
It tilts me so much because, like, I mean, you want to be the best player ever, don't you? Like,
of course you do.
But then I do think the one thing that you lot all fail to do, something that I do incredibly well, is taking a break.
Yeah, I will say that is something that we've started to try and do again. Is that we get so, because the thing is with me and Ben, I think where I can explain part of the reason, we're very passionate for the game to the point of like it's a fault a little bit. This is more for myself, but I can definitely feel like Ben's the same way a little bit. So even when we have a bad day, we just say fuck it. Next day we're just gonna keep playing and see, and we have to be better. We have to. and we take sometimes yesterday or the day before too much into account, and then we just go for it.
I think that people have different styles of dealing with like constantly losing. And I would definitely recommend a break if you're going through that and it is getting to you. But personally, I just can't come to like, all right, I'm going to take a break now. I have to keep playing until I see improvement.
And then we take a break when we see improvement.
Yeah, we start doing good and then we actually take a break. We don't play it for like a week. We do the
exact opposite of what we should be doing. Which is funny.
Yeah, that's why I haven't played in like 2 weeks. Or I refused to play because I had those 2 days where I did terrible and I was like, fuck this. So I decided to just switch to Valorant, and I've been enjoying that other way more than Siege. So I'll come back to Siege in like today or tomorrow, maybe. I don't know what's going on. Depending.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun, but I think
people definitely benefit from these breaks.
Yeah,
definitely.
I took a little mini break just playing Valorant, and it's been nice. As much as I like playing Valorant these days, nothing can replace Siege. I'm just going to make that very clear. Nothing replaces Siege in terms of like my overall favorite game. So
that's the thing. When you guys take breaks, you play more competitive games.
Yeah, I know. That's the weird thing about me.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the weird and odd thing. It's a different feeling.
Yeah.
If you think about it, right? So if I go and play Rocket League, the game's a completely different feeling to how Siege feels. So I perform in a different manner, obviously, because it's car football. But if you want to compare Valorant and Siege, Valorant feels completely different because you have like 4 different abilities. So it's different in its way.
Get that.
Plus, I'm mouse and keyboard on there, not controller, so it's probably.
I definitely get that, but it's still. If I was to go from Siege, losing like 3 games in a row, and I'm like, all right, I need a break. I don't instantly go, I'm gonna go on Valorant now, and because if I'm losing on Valorant, then I'm like, right, so I'm just sell my computer now.
Here's why I do it, and it's going to be my personal take. Siege is one of the hardest games I've ever played, and it's very, very hard. Like there's times where gameplay wise, it looks basic and it's straightforward that anyone can get into. In reality, it's very complex in what you have to do. When I play Valorant, I don't have a lot of the things that I'm thinking about in Siege, and instead I can focus a little bit more on just the fundamentals, I guess. And so when for example, I've now gotten to, I think, Diamond 1, coming up to Diamond 2, and I was in Valorant. And a lot of the times it's just, and I solo queued to that rank. And a lot of the times I'm just thinking to myself, right, just instead of overstressing because I'm with a 5 stack and I've got to think of this, and I'm overwhelming myself, I just root myself down to the fundamentals of it, and I typically do pretty good. Whereas, like, that's one of the things I'm trying to bring over to Siege, is just root everything down to the fundamentals again. Stop overthinking. Be more, I think one of the, like Nuspal said this to me, which was actually something a bit eye-opening, was be more sequential thinking instead of cluster thinking. So think of things of like in sequence of order instead of thinking different possibilities with one outcome for each possibility. And then break things down, and then that's how it is. That's why I think in Valorant I can be more sequential thinking. There's less for me to think about in Valorant. In all honesty, like I don't have to worry about, for example, in Valorant, there's a wall I have to worry, or a ceiling that could be destructible above me while I'm going for this plant, or the sound is going to be off. I know exactly, like if I'm going, let's say I'm playing Astra, who I've been playing a lot. Randall see me play Astra a little bit. And I'm playing against, say, a Breach. I know my thing is I just got to fake out his utility. I know exactly what his utility is. I know exactly where he can be because the layout is quite basic in terms of like he can come from this lane or he can come from that lane. That's it.
Yeah.
Whereas in Siege, linear. He could come from this lane. He could come from that lane. He could break through this wall. He could go above me. Hell, he could go right below me if I'm on the second floor. I have so much to think about. And then I'm like, it starts clustering up your thought process. And I think that's what I've started noticing with myself. I'm overthinking too much every attribute of how they could all play out instead of thinking, right, where can I plant first and what can I expose myself least to in order to win that round.
Yeah.
Valorant, the thing with Valorant and maps for you is a lot of Valorant maps are either 2 or 3 laned maps.
Yes.
You have only 2 spawn points, attacking and defending, and that's exactly it. With Siege, you've got 4 different spawn points, 4 different sides of the map, 7 different fucking stairways you need to get through to go up and down. So Siege maps are very like compact and like they're so big but so small at the same time. Whereas Valorant, they're just lanes. You're either gonna go left, go mid, or go right. That's all you do. Whereas in Siege, you've got to either go down, up, left, right, backwards, fucking diagonal, and all that type of crap. So
keep in mind,
Siege maps are a lot harder.
And keep in mind with Valorant, I know if they're moving, they have to stop and shoot. Obviously, it looks absolutely horrible because they look like they're moving and shooting, but technically, that's the case. In Siege as well, they could just swing me and still shoot me, and then if they don't take any damage, they won't stop. They'll keep moving. There's certain things that I have to keep in mind. I'm not using this as an excuse, but in Siege, there's like everything is very modernized and it feels fun to play, but it makes it more intense. Whereas
there are a lot of variables, like just one-shot headshot. Guns have different fire rates, and you can get shot through a wall and you're dead.
The best example is, let's say I'm going for a 2v1 with, say, me and Rendell in Valorant, and the enemy team's on an eco. I know for a fact that guy's got to push us. So we just now have to hold our angles very wide in open areas, so then they have no choice but to come to me. In Siege, no weapon changes. It's basically down to the operator. So you don't know what that operator is until you scan it or you communicate with your team. So at that point, you now have to start thinking, right, who could this potentially be? And then anything can give it away. But then you have to keep a mental note of what are they capable of? What gadgets do they have? What have they brought with them? Because they don't have, for example, a secondary gadget can be completely different. I could be going against a Ram who may have stuns instead of a smoke. So the variables are something that you always have to think about.
Yeah, and even on top of that as well, so when they have got the operator and you are thinking like, what do they have? What loadout do they have and whatnot? What do they have against me? It's also like, what elo are they? Yeah. Because matchmaking Siege isn't the best. So you could literally be against like a hard stock silver or a champ. So you need to think, am I going against someone who's going to use his gun more, or maybe play a little bit slower and use util more? So it's just trying to figure out what kind of player they are as well.
And they got to do all that within milliseconds. So that's a lot of processing of information, which for me, I'll admit, I struggle with it compared to like CS and Valorant, because they're more basic games at their forefront. CS especially, like, it can get complex with the lineups and stuff like that. It may look confusing, but at the end of the day, I know they're only going to have X amount of grenades. They're going to have certain weapons because of what side they're on, and they're going to only come from these directions if I watch these angles. That's it. Siege is extremely complex, which is a benefit, but it's also a curse, especially now. Like, if people were trying to get into Siege now, let's be completely honest here, you're fucked. You have 74 operators in total. Each are extremely unique to one another. You have a plethora of maps. Like, one thing I would say, and I understand I'm deviating a little bit, put the map pool down to like 5 or 7 in ranked. I really mean that. And the reason I say that is because it allows people more time to learn the more accessible maps, and they're not having to stress like, I got to play well on Outbreak or Outback. Sorry, I don't know why I said Outbreak. Outback or Skyscraper or whatever. Keep it condensed. There's so much to learn, and there's so much you have to think of. That
but even though you do learn in ranked, I don't think you should be using ranked to learn.
I agree.
To play ranked. That's why they've got like newcomer and standard and whatnot.
But the problem is, no one really, as far as I'm aware, uses it for that.
So but limiting the ranked map pool is just going to be dog, because I mean we play pretty much the same maps now over and over again, and it just gets boring. It's so boring. I mean, we've played Chalet like God knows how many times.
I think that's why map bans, if we're going to do that, then map bans need to go, just so then you have no choice but to play whatever map you're given.
Yeah, but map bans also give you the option. Like, if there weren't map bans and it was just a random map, imagine you get Chalet 3 times in a row.
Yeah, it's a possibility. But
if you get it like once or twice, you can then go out your way to be like, right.
But we're already seeing that because we're already getting Chalet 3 times in a row with map bans as it is. That's the thing.
But that's what I'm saying. At that point where it is coming up multiple times, then you could just be like, let's ban it because let's say we're sick of it now. If we're doing bad at it, let's just ban it. That's why I think map bans are good. So you're avoiding certain maps that like you're doing bad at and just want a break from it for a bit, rather than it getting repetitive and whatnot.
Fair enough. I see your point.
Yeah,
but actually,
it's not good to avoid maps actively.
Rendell,
if you don't know them.
What's your thoughts from this season so far? I know we deviated a little bit, but
I mean, I haven't started off great this season. I think I've just been not enjoying the game as much. And my thing is, if I don't enjoy it, then I don't play well. I think my thing is every season, I've always left it a week before starting to play, because I like to give myself like a week break in between seasons, only because I can get very burnt out from the game. I think this season I just haven't done that because I've been with you lot and I've just played when you guys have played. So I think this break that I've taken now is the best thing for me. But I haven't been playing that great. That's because I've just not been enjoying the game. And when I don't enjoy it and I'm not having fun, I can't perform.
Yeah.
So it's one of those ones where I think like the whole reason this season's a bit shit for me is I think some of the changes that they made just ain't fun. Like the Blackbeard shield that we spoke about before in previous episodes. It's just like, why? And then it's just, plus it also feels like there's not major changes. When there's not a new operator, to me, there's no new content. You've just made a change.
Yeah, I agree. I can understand that. I think at the moment, we've been banning Blackbeard a lot because we just don't want to deal with Blackbeard personally. So that's why we've been able to alleviate that part. But even then, it would have been better if we could ban somebody else to spice things up for whatever strategy we would like to do. But we've just had to do that. I think now, yeah, I think for the majority of people here, it's definitely just a fact of like we've had a very rough start. The content hasn't been as good as it could be. I still will say one thing I will say is I miss the idea of a new operator, like even 2. Just 2 operators.
Remember we got 3 at one time.
Yes, we did twice.
We got the Ying, Legion, and Ella,
and then Dockerby, Vigil, and Soft because Operation Health delayed it, so they ended up combining.
Oh yeah,
those. That was just great, honestly. But again, I feel like I'm just in that sort of point where gameplay wise, the game is great. I think the game is in a very healthy state. It's just that ranked is just a mess. The one outlet that we were wanting to play, which we discussed in the first episode, fucked it up. So again, for those that are, not working, you got to experience it, or content creators especially. But for people that, work, it was basically too late, which really annoyed me. And on top of all that, there's just nothing really special except just the game that we love. There's no custom modes that we can create. There's like we can do it, but there's not the flexibility I'd like being able to create really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's that combo of no new content, and there's also no sort of new meta. Every now and then we would get a new meta, but nothing's really changed. Maps are still being played the same way now.
The one thing I wish for is do what CS does. They have community servers that they can just do whatever they want. So you have one that's specifically for death matching, one that's 1v1s, one where you can just literally do what's called surfing, where you're basically it's part of the physics of the engine, and you can just surf along angled walls and just complete little maps like that. It's pretty relaxing. Put on a podcast.
Seen that? Yeah, Rocket League's got something like that.
Yeah,
in a Rendell.
It's called ring maps and custom maps. Ring maps is kind of a similar thing. You just fly through rings, and then You have custom maps as well, which is like a bunch of stuff that people create from Steam Workshop, or you just download them from Epic.
Dude,
but yeah, the Rocket League, I've got
an idea. Just do like a community map where you do drone parkour.
Yeah, that could be.
How is that going to work? Because the drones movement aren't.
It's a bit naff.
Great,
yeah. Still make it somewhat work. Just getting to certain places, geometry.
Yeah, even Overwatch has something like that.
Yeah,
they got like Lucio speedrun maps and whatnot,
and also Doomfist's parkour maps.
Yeah, they're all fun.
Just stuff like that is all we need. I think that can help. Not only for people like us that are just getting a little burnout from the ranked experience, but for the casual community, it's great. It gets more community engagement, and then you can introduce that into like your major events.
Yeah.
See, we're doing your job, Yubi. But yeah, it's been a rough one.
I think we should just wrap it up because I've got to walk the little doggies.
Yeah, I want to wrap it up so I can get some food.
Same here.
I don't have a pet, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd join in with that.
Well, thank you all for listening and tuning in to us ramble on. For was this and a whole full hour and like 15 minutes at this point.
At this point, yeah.
Probably our longest episode. So
not eating today.
You're not eating?
No,
terrible.
Neither have I as well. We need to eat.
Actually, tell a lie. I had bacon and not bacon, sausage sarnie for breakfast this morning.
You cheeky fucker.
Oh, lucky.
I got up early to edit and post a video this morning. At like 7:30 in the morning, and then sort some stuff out at the point. And I went downstairs. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go see what's in the fridge. Sausages. I was like,
laid out.
Lucky you. I didn't wake up till like 12:30.
Literally. Yeah, no. I woke up at like 11.
You lazy fuckers.
I'm trying to work on getting that better.
I'm loving it.
I'm
staying up till 3, 4. Oh yeah. It's great.
It's not great.
Yeah, I'm not in work till next week, Friday now. So
fair enough.
Yeah, back Thursday. This is going out Wednesday. So Happy New Year,
yes,
everyone.
Yes,
Happy New Year,
everyone. Happy New Year.
Yeah,
and
bring on 2025.
New year, new me. Yeah.
No, new year, new podcast.
Start a new one now.
I'll do one.
So this is the end of the podcast for good. We're doing a new one now.
It's gonna now.
No, we're 3 episodes in. New Year's coming.
It's done.
So yeah.
And I'm coming.
You wish.
Farewell, everybody.
Right now.
Literally, as we speak.
Get your cat. Get your.
I'm getting hot now.
Shoot out. Get out of shoot out, man.
All right, let's wrap this up. I need to eat. I need to eat.
Go on, wrap
I'm not even speaking English.
Go on, Rendell.
Goodbye. Have a good New Year's. See you all later.